Tracking your progress might be the reason as to why you are not losing weight amongst so many others. That is why in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you guys some must-haves that are going to help you during your weight loss journey. What is up, loves, and welcome back to MadammeBae, the place to be for everything weight loss, wellness, healing naturally, healthy recipes, and the daily hustle. My name is Sheila and I'm always super pumped to have each and every one of you here, so thank you. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing 10 must-haves on your weight loss journey that I recommend you should have despite what kind of lifestyle you choose, be it keto, be it the OMAD diet, be it carb cycling, whatever lifestyle it is that you choose, these tools are going to be very helpful to you because they were really helpful for me and for some of my clients, and I just want to share them with you guys. So let's get into it. The first thing I recommend, of course, is a weighing scale. It doesn't have to be digital, it could be analog, but digital is always best because it's more accurate. Now, why do I recommend a weighing scale? Weighing scales are really good to track progress because statistics show that people that weigh themselves once a day are more likely to lose more weight than those that don't, or those that do once a week or once a month. The reason being is when you weigh yourself daily, you're more likely to stay on track, you're more likely to stick to your goals, and the reason is when you weigh yourself today and then you weigh yourself tomorrow, you don't want to weigh more than you weighed yesterday, so you're always striving to be better than you were yesterday. That's why I always say you are your own competition. So check out my latest Instagram post for more details on how many times you should weigh yourself, but definitely get yourself a scale. And just so you know, all the things I'm mentioning in this video are going to be linked in the description box down below, so feel free to check them out if you want to get yourself any of the tools I mentioned in this video. The second tool I recommend to have is a tape measure or clothes that you want to fit into. These come hand in hand because sometimes the weighing scale is not the most accurate, you guys know, unless it's one of the latest weighing scales that measure your water content or your body fat content. Sometimes weighing scales are not the most accurate, also because a fat and a muscle do weigh the same, but they take up different space. So meaning sometimes you might have lost weight but the weighing scale hasn't moved, but that does not mean you haven't lost weight. That's why it's important to keep the morale going, because if you weigh yourself on the weighing scale and the scale is not moving, let's face it guys, it's a little bit demotivating. That is where these two things come in handy. Clothes you want to fit into, because when you wear them they're going to be a little bit loose, or when you take body measurements using the tape measure, you will notice that you've reduced in size but the scale isn't moving. That is why it's very important to find another means of tracking your progress aside from the scale. You will notice that in one of my previous videos I did this thing where I did a 1-week challenge. It was an ab challenge and I was using a tape measure simply because I'm not going to see the same results on the scale, so I decided to use a tape measure so you guys can see that. Feel free to check that video out if you want to. I'll leave a link to it above. So the next tool I recommend to have is a food scale or a kitchen scale. I'm not using any of these at the moment, but I used to use them when I had just started my weight loss journey, and I really urge you guys to get yourself one of these, especially if you're into the calorie counting phase, because you guys know if you're trying to lose weight you have to maintain a calorie deficit. This doesn't mean that you're going to weigh yourself or calculate all these things for the rest of your life. This is just until you get to a momentum where you're able to do this on your own without the help of all these tools, and by that time it will be a lifestyle and you will not need any of these tools. Let me tell you, this is just so you can get yourself off the ground. And like I mentioned at the beginning, one of the reasons you're probably not losing weight is because you are not tracking. Definitely if you want to lose weight and you're tracking your calories, how are you going to track your calories if you do not know the exact quantity of food you're having? And let me tell you something, do not believe food on packages. I'm not saying all packagings are wrong, but just so you know, some packagings say one thing, but then maybe they are a few grams overweight, but then for you, you log that it was that weight, but it was a little bit over, which might sabotage your calorie intake. Also, you will be very surprised what you think a serving is. You know, like how you go and buy a cereal box, you go buy a cereal box that says 1 serving, you go and fill in the serving that you think is a serving, but that is not a serving. You will be very surprised, my friends, as to how little a serving is. So I just need you to be careful. I saw this from one of my favorite YouTubers and I thought I would share with you guys. Check it out.
I'm just going to show you why it's really important to weigh your food. So here we have chocolate fudge cake. I eat this almost every day, and as you can tell on the package it says that per 100 grams it's 260 calories, and then here you can see that it says it's 100 grams, but when I weigh it you can see that is actually 134 grams, and obviously the packaging will weigh a bit, but it's definitely not 34 grams. So this is not 260 calories. And you can see if you have a bunch of those little things where you're kind of adding calories without really knowing throughout the day, that can actually add to a lot of calories. And a lot of calories lessens your deficit significantly. Okay, so another example, I just have my bowl here. I'm gonna show you guys some serving sizes, because something a lot of people don't realize is that serving sizes are actually way smaller than you assume. So these are just dried red kidney beans. As you can see, a serving size is 46 grams and that is 160 calories. So as you can see, this is 46 grams. Not that many. That's not that many.
That is why a kitchen or food scale is really important. The next thing to have is measuring cups and spoons. So if you cannot get a kitchen scale for some reason, which by the way is really cheap, it's about $10 to $20 on Amazon. I'll leave all the links below like I said. Measuring cups are really good when it comes to measuring things like uncooked rice, uncooked quinoa. They're also really good when it comes to baking, but are a little bit less accurate, especially for things like cooked rice. Hear me out, I said cooked rice before I said measuring rice, but if you measure raw rice, there is no way of packing it down. But if you use cooked rice or cooked quinoa, there is a way you can pack it, and when it's too packed, it's a little bit over the cup, you know what I mean? So you end up eating a little bit over, so you have to be very careful not to overpack it. However, these are really good for you. They're really good for baking, and they are actually really amazing if you do not have a kitchen scale. The fact that they're not accurate does not mean they're not good. It's better to have a measuring cup than have nothing at all. The fifth tool I recommend to have is small cups and plates. If you watch one of my previous video, which was 14 hacks that actually work to help you lose weight, I'm going to leave a link to it above. Feel free to check it out. I mentioned one of the tips being using small cups and plates. The reason why this is important is because of portion control. Portion control is really important when it comes to weight loss and maintaining a calorie deficit, and reducing the sizes of your plate is going to help you achieve that. Just go check out this video because I gave a more detailed explanation there. The next thing I recommend to have is meal prep containers. By now you guys already know how I feel about meal prepping. In fact, I'm going to make a more detailed video on how to meal prep tips and all that stuff. So if you want to see that, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, ring the notification bell to be notified when that video is out. For people that find it hard to stick to their diet or to have proper portion control, this really comes in handy, because when you prep your food at the beginning of the week and you pack it in meal prep containers in the exact quantities that are recommended for your body, you don't have to think about it. It really takes out the guesswork, it takes out the temptation. All you have to do is prep your meals, and when it's time to eat, just take them out of the fridge and enjoy without having to think about it, because we all know when it comes to thinking about food, when you have very little willpower, sometimes you're bound to actually eat bad food. That's why it's important to meal prep and be ready for whatever it is that comes your way. And plus, you have no excuses but to put in the work. This next tool is actually one of my favorite, which is a good water bottle. We all know when it comes to weight loss, in fact it's not only when it comes to weight loss, even just to maintain a healthy lifestyle, hydration is really important. Like, hydration is key, we all know that. That is why for people that are not used to drinking water, it's very important for you to have like a bottle around you, preferably a bottle of the exact amount of water you want to drink. If you want to drink at least 1 liter a day, buy a 1 liter bottle. If you want to drink at least 2 liters a day, buy a 2 liter bottle. This is going to help you know that if you haven't finished this bottle, you haven't taken your water intake. It's better than you drinking 8 glasses of water, because it's very easy to lose count of how many glasses of water you've taken, to be honest. And there's this thing I like to do, which is I don't drink anything else until I'm done with my water, and then I can drink juice, or I can have whatever it is, or I can drink tea in between, but it has to be 0 calories. I do not drink anything calorific until I'm done with my water, basically, and that is actually going to help you lose weight. You will be surprised. The next tool is a pedometer and a food tracking app. These are both tracking apps. The pedometer is basically to track your footsteps, and the food tracking app is to track the food that you've been eating. Because if you need to maintain a calorie deficit, how else do you know that you're maintaining a calorie deficit? By tracking your food. If you don't track your food, then you don't know if you're in a calorie deficit or not. That's why it's important to track your food. And for the pedometer, it's really important. You can even start with 3,500 footsteps a day and work your way up. Every day you go 500 more, 500 more, 500 more. And like we say, you are your own competition, so you always have to strive be better than you were yesterday. That's why it's important to have a pedometer, so you know today I did 3,500 footsteps, tomorrow I'm going to do 4,000, and next time I'm going to do 4,500 and 5,000, and so on and so forth, like that. This helps you put in the work, and this helps you become better than you were and track that progress. And that brings me to my next tool, which is a progress journal or progress tracker. There are so many food tracking apps and pedometers out there. If you have a Fitbit or if you have an Apple Watch, those things come with inbuilt pedometers, they come with inbuilt food trackers, they come with inbuilt weight loss trackers. Therefore, you don't even need to get out of their ecosystem. Everything is within there, which is great. So if you have a Fitbit or an Apple Watch, you might not need this. Of course, there are some free ones. Just go to your Google Play or Apple Store and just type footstep tracker, you will find one. And for free food trackers, there is one that is commonly known, which is MyFitnessPal. Feel free to check it out. All you do is put in every meal you have just to make sure that you're maintaining a calorie deficit. Fitbit and Apple Watch is really nice, but the one thing we forget to focus on is how we feel mentally. That's why sometimes I urge people to have like journals, an actual journal that you can look at and look at the area of view of everything. You can see what you ate, you can see how that affected your weight. So it affected your weight that way, but how did that make you feel? You know what I mean? Do not forget how you feel. Sometimes these numbers are just numbers, but don't forget that these numbers kind of affect you somehow, and because they affect you somehow, it's important to acknowledge that. That is why a progress journal is important. Progress journals actually help you learn your good and bad habits. Last but not least, another one of my favorite is a good pair of shoes. I know you didn't expect this. Safety really comes first when it comes to your body, and when it comes to weight loss, of course you're going to be involved in some kind of fitness, even if it's just walking around. You need to protect your knees. You don't want to be working out and a couple of months into working out your knees start to hurt and now you can't work out anymore. We don't want that. That is why you have to protect your knees. Get a good pair of shoes. A good pair of shoes does not mean an expensive pair of shoes, but a good pair of shoes should be quality that is going to last you for a long time and is going to be good enough to protect your knees. Just keep in mind that not all sneakers are workout sneakers. Get yourself a good pair of sneakers because it's worth it and it's the best investment you can ever make for yourself. So I'd like to know, which of these tools do you already have, or are you already using, and how are you using them, or have you learned something new from this video? Please let me know in the comment section down below, as I like to discuss this stuff with you guys. Also, let me know if you have any weight loss questions. As you guys know, I really love answering them. For those that want one-on-one training, personalized weight loss plans, and for me to be there with you every step of the way, I'm going to leave a link in the description box down below where you can book a free call, and then we can see if we are a good match, because not everyone is willing to put in the work. But I'm excited to hear from you. Like this video if you found it helpful, and in the next video I'm going to be sharing everything you need to know about intermittent fasting, as people normally overthink it. So if you want to watch that, subscribe to my channel, ring the bell right next to it to be notified when I upload that video. And if you're serious about starting your weight loss journey, I'm going to leave this video over here so that you can implement those hacks and start seeing those weight loss results you've been looking for. As always, don't forget to stay motivated, be patient, trust the process, and spread the love. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.